Hello there, my friends. Welcome to the Star Wars Vault. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for new Star Wars content every week. How's it going, everyone? Today I look to go over episodes 5 through 7 of the Andor series. Episode 5 was more of a build-up episode to 6, whereas 6 and 7 are probably the biggest bangers yet of the spin-off show. A lot happens in episode 6, and episode 7 shows the aftermath of it with some interesting dialogue throughout the episode. But without further ado, let's get into this 3-episode breakdown. We start with episode 5. Cyril Karn kicks it off as he sits in his mother's kitchen on Coruscant, staring at his cereal and having career discussion with his mom. Flipping to Aldhani, Cassian continues to have awkwardness with his new team, as one of the men named Skeen shows great suspicion of Andor. We then go back to Coruscant and see the rather undesirable family life of Mon Mothma. We have already seen major disconnect between her and her husband, but now it is apparent that her own daughter also shows no care for her mother. It really boils down to a notable line from Mothma, who says, "I so appreciate the support," sarcastically. On Aldhani, Andor, or should we say Clem, points out critical strategies to Vel's plan, as he quickly displays how much his experience is needed to these rebels. He insists on flying away at the end of their heist to ensure their success. Soon after, Skeen spots Cassian's Sky Kyber crystal around his neck, asking what his motives are. Clem tells the group he is being paid to help in this mission in order to not have to continuously look over his back. He tells the others he's afraid, but there's a difference between fear and losing your nerve. Later at night, Skeen tells Clem about his brother dying due to the Empire's oppression, citing it's as close to an apology that he will get. Vel states that Terramin is now in charge of the mission as they get ready for the following day as their heist looms. We also see at the end of this episode, Cyril Karn staring at a hologram of Andor, stirring over the disaster that occurred on Ferrix. This really shows the obsession Karn has for Cassian, and persuades us to believe he will pursue and chase him later on in this series. For now, we transition into episode 6. This episode is called The Eye, which refers to the celestial event every 3 years on Aldhani, during which the rebel group looks to perform their major heist of an Imperial armory. Vel and Cinta lead the stealth end of the mission as they go underwater and sneak onto the base to give the go to the others on their side. Clem, along with Nemik, Skeen, and Terramin, are disguised as Imperial soldiers. They are directed by Lieutenant Gorn, who is in on the mission as well, to watch the Dani people as they begin to prepare for the celestial event. As the ritual begins, Gorn brings the undercover group in with him and his commandant, who's in charge of the garrison. Once they're in, they take immediate control, as Cinta shoots and terminates the Imperial ranked above the commandant. Gorn's boss also has his family with him who are taken captive and used against the Imperial in order to get his access to the vault where they plan to raid and escape. This whole sequence was incredible to me and really made me jump out of my seat more than any other part in the show up to this point. After knocking out the radio frequency earlier, one officer gets it back online and hears talking about the vault. He immediately calls in some TIE fighters on the situation. The group knows they need to hurry, so they use the commandant to get a whole batch of Imperial workers to help the rebels load their getaway ship with the heavy credits. At this time, they have less than 5 minutes in their original plot to seize and fly away. A suspicious officer along with others arrive and realize a robbery has taken place, to which they begin open fire. The group gets in and away, but not without Terramin and Lieutenant Gorn being shot down and killed. Once they are in the air, a huge pallet of credits slides and crushes Nemik, who is running the diagnostics for this escape. He barely is able to get the coordinates out for Clem, who evades chasing TIE fighters in the peak of the eye. Thousands of meteors flying around the ships, destroying all of the TIE fighters as the group escape Aldhani. The Dani people watch on in awe, and what a magnificent sight it was. Some of the cinematography in this episode was top level, and the eye really was like the coolest thing I've seen in a while for Star Wars. Skeen, Clem, and Vel bring Nemik to a medic to try and save him from his injuries. Cinta seems to have stayed back, I'm guessing with her people on Aldhani. Skeen and Clem wait outside the doctor's building as Skeen notes this heist scores up to 80 million credits, give or take. He then offers Clem to split it 2 ways, meaning to leave Vel and Nemik with nothing and no transportation. Quickly realizing Skeen was lying about everything, including his brother, he shoots Skeen in cold blood, killing him. A shocking yet awesome move for Cassian, but we've seen this before at the start of the series now, haven't we? So Andor, goes into the tent to find Nemik, who ends up not surviving. Vel gives Andor his manifesto, since Nemik and Clem had interesting talks earlier in the episode about the rebellion and freedom. The episode ends with Mon Mothma talking in the Senate, with sudden news of the garrison robbery spreading all around. Luthen Rael is laughing and smiling in the back of his store on Coruscant as the screen cuts to credits. Now, as we begin in Episode 7, the Imperial Bureau announces a public order resentencing directive in response to this robbery. Supervisor Dedra Miro, who has been seen previously in Episode 4, believes they are playing into the rebels' hands and sense more of a coalition-like effort going on. She orders her assistant to search all systems for connecting evidence unauthorized. The leader of the Bureau mentions he spoke to Emperor Palpatine about this issue, which was exciting to hear a big figure name dropped in this show. Mon Mothma speaks to Luthen at his shop, voicing her concerns about this Aldhani robbery. We soon see her hosting a dinner party with other politicians and legislators. She catches up with an old friend, his name is Tay Kolma. After sensing he is one to trust, she tells him her whole political persona is a front that she has learned from Palpatine, saying, "If I show you the stone in my hand, you'll miss the knife at your throat." I mean, again, such a cool moment in this show. She asks him to help in her efforts, but cuts the talk short when her husband comes by, as they both practice their fake smiles and put a front on for all the guests to see. Cassian returns home to Marva and Bee on Ferrix. He asks them to come with him now that he has his 200,000 credits. Marva warns him that he must leave with all the Imperial attention on the planet, but states she won't leave and she will stand up to the Empire. This is hard for Cassian to take in, but he heads on and catches up with Bix. They argue over Tim, but settle once Cassian gives her 12,000 credits for previous deaths, it seems. Back on Coruscant, Dedra gets her reports and shares the concern with her superior in a meeting. Major Partagaz rules in favor of Dedra over her rival, Supervisor Blevin, and assigns the Morlana sector over to her. All the while through this episode, Cyril Karn goes on an interview for a corporate desk job after getting lectured by his mother continuously. After admitting to his previous incidents, he is given a position in a sea of what you'd call 9-to-5 workers in the Star Wars galaxy. This episode ends with Cassian getting arrested on Neamos, which is almost like Miami the way it looks, His identity is changed to Keith and has been sentenced to 6 years. And just a thrilling episode that really moved the story a lot, and even explains why Cassian chose to go by as Clem for the mission, as that was his father figure's name, who was hung for protesting against the Empire. Definitely episodes 6 and 7 were my favorite for the series so far. To get those mentions of Palpatine, seeing the political games being played with Mon Mothma, and the extensive storylines based mostly around Coruscant makes this show so fun to watch, especially lately. I'd say episode 6 with the heist mission is my favorite so far, and I want to know what you all think. What did you make of episodes 5 through 7 of Andor? Was episode 6 the best yet, or do you think episode 7 was better overall with storylines? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, don't forget to force push the like button if you support the channel. My social media links are in the description, and with that, my friends, I'll catch you soon for the inevitable release of Tales of the Jedi. So until then, may the Force be with you.